Hello, everybody. Good Sunday morning. I am back at my sister's. Well, I'm technically in my brother-in-law's office. I'm super excited. I got to hold the baby before I got on because we just got here this morning. Dropped my mom off because she's been quarantined for her 7 days and she's good. Plus, we went to Costco yesterday and did some shopping for them and for my mom. So she has meat to eat while she's here. So I had to go see that little boy before I got on. How are you guys doing? Good morning, Jess and Audrey. Let's see, Audrey or Jess, you were recommending a book called Awakening the Avatar Within. Okay, I will look at that. I have not heard of it. I'm gonna actually add it right now because if I don't, I'm gonna put it on my phone. I will forget it. I'm real bad when people suggest things. I'll just text it to Scott. Avatar, no, Awakening. Awakening the Avatar Within. Awakening. Lord have mercy. Okay, got that. Morning, Katie, Candace, Crystal, GW, Tia. How is the weather there? It is cold and rainy as well as super foggy here, which is kind of nice in the mornings. Anywho, remember guys, you have questions, throw them in the comments, or if you just have comments, or if you've done something amazing, had a wonderful non-scale victory, share it with us because I love to hear them and I know other people do too. Morning, Michelle, Mike, Michael, Tanya, Margaret, Mary. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. This week has been crazy. I'm so glad, as much as I love my little nephew, to have been back home. I am feeling much better today. Let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today's like day 3.5 back restarting carnivore. I feel much better. My grumpiness is better, but I'm still a little agitated. Certain things, but I feel much better. Has anybody restarted with me or kind of gotten back on the straight and narrow? Let me know. I would love to. I love having journey buddies. They the best. Thank you. He's so cute. He's breastfeeding right now, or I would have stole him and brought him to show him to you guys. GW, new blue jean shorts were falling off of me these last 3 days. Feels awesome. That is amazing. That is one of those things like clothes when you put it on and they didn't fit before or they were snug and then they're loose. No matter what the scale says, it's like, yes, I can feel it. Hi, Mama Bear. I know. He's so cute. I told my sister because she's like, maybe I'm just biased. I'm like, nah. He definitely is like Gerber baby cute. I said, not that they want to, but she could absolutely do like baby modeling with him. He's so sweet. Alex, did you ever experience gout while during carnivore? Today marks 5 full weeks on the lion diet, and I've had gout in my ankle the last 3 days. Is there any way to avoid it? I drink 2 liters of water a day. I'm curious if you had gout before doing carnivore, Alex. Yeah, I'm curious if you had gout before, arthritis or anything like that. Sometimes what you can experience like that, and it sounds more like it to me, is something like oxalate dumping, where your body will just hit some fat cells that have a lot of oxalates in them. And it's not only oxalate, y'all. We store toxins in our fat cells. And that's part of the reason that as losing weight, it can be hard on the body because your body's then dumping all those toxins as the fat cells get emptied. It empties those toxins out of there too. Little did we know, fat cells store toxins. Anywho, so sometimes you'll be bebopping along doing fine, and then you'll have like these bouts where you feel really bad, and a lot of times it's oxalates and or the toxins getting dumped out of the fat cells. Andrea, what did I miss? Restarting. Okay. For the past 2 weeks, I've been at my sister's with the new baby, and I did not eat carnivore. Well, I ate some meat, but fatigue, tired, get an hour of sleep a day, all that. So at one point my energy levels accumulated to pouring some popcorn in a bowl, and that was my entire day's meal because I could not manage anything else at that point. So came back home Wednesday, restarted, done really, really good. We had, what did we have last night? We had leftovers. So I had some jalapeno sausage and the beef kielbasa because there was 2 left that needed to be eaten. Bacon and eggs, pretty much, not bacon and chorizo and eggs last night. Breakfast. My mind is still not quite centered. Candace, I'm struggling, but also getting back on track. I need to link more on track days together. Yes, once it's like building a snowman. Once you get rolling, then the snowball gets bigger. Figure out exactly what's pushing you off track. Being at my sister's, and they don't do carnivore, but being at her house and just having the wheat and like M&Ms and popcorn and stuff in front of me. Granted, I think I would have done much better had I not been, new baby. Plus my sister had this spinal headache. So there was a lot of mental, physical, emotional stress on me. And I just couldn't. Grilling a steak, I know it's like, oh, you should just grill the steak. I didn't even have the thought process to take the steak out of the dang freezer. I'm having brain fog from the carb withdrawals, y'all. Anyways, figure out what exactly is causing the struggle. Are you seeing the food? Because that is the big thing. Being here for 2 weeks really, really showed me how strong out of sight, out of mind is for me. Our house, we have no sugar. And when I mean no sugar, we don't even have white sugar for people to add to their coffee. It's like you come to our house, you get heavy cream or butter and coffee. Bring your own sugar. We don't even have Splenda. We don't have any sweeteners in our house. And how important that is for me to not trigger that desire to want to go and eat more or to eat something off carnivore. Plus, honestly, having a wonderful husband that always asks me every morning what we want for dinner, because bacon and eggs is the breakfast pretty much every morning. It's what we want for dinner, so I have no excuses not to eat what's made. So those are some suggestions. But really, Candace, like write down every time you fall off, what's causing it. Did you do something like go somewhere with people? Were you seeing food? Is it in your house? Those kinds of things. I've been on carnivore since September 13th, my birthday, y'all. Okay, progress is slow, but staying the course. Don't worry about the progress right now. Focus. The first 4 to 6 weeks should be focusing. Don't worry about the scale. I know it's hard not to, especially if you want to lose weight. It is more important to be consistent in not tiny habits, atomic habits. He talks about how when we do things, we'll get to like 49% of it done. We can't obviously see the metrics, but we get put 49% effort in. And then right before we cross the 51%, we're like, oh, we're done. Because we don't know we're going to cross the threshold where we'll see the results. Because up until the 51%, we don't see any results. So we quit and we only waited 2% more. Okay. So take the slow progress. Focus on, if you're doing carnivore, keto, or whatever you're doing, eating meat. Focusing on learning what true hunger is, okay? Because I never learned that. I actually was thinking about that on the way up. One of the ladies that does our meetups with us, she lives in Seattle. She said she went to her hairdresser, and her hairdresser is actually doing carnivore and heard of my channel. And she said the biggest benefit she got from one of my videos was when I said I had the Bank of Amanda. Because people a lot of times are like, you're not eating enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And it's like, slow your roll. I still have a lot of fat on me, which means there's a lot of energy and amino acids stored on me. So I had to learn what true hunger feels like. When I was a kid, I was always told, eat the entire plate, right? Well, if I'm eating the whole plate, then I never have to actually listen to the physiological mechanisms of my body. And then when I got older, I started eating because emotions, upset, happy, sad, you name it. So then the eating desire came from here, not through my stomach. And that, as an adult, it took me months to discover that. So that's where I say start. Spend the first 4 to 6 weeks discovering what your hunger levels are. Okay. Dr. B has, if not one, but 2 videos regarding gout. Yes, he does have some very good videos. Dr. B does for gout. The shirt for work I ordered a 3X, and I was embarrassed when it didn't fit and had to see if they had a bigger size. They didn't, but after 45 days, I fit in it and look amazing. Congrats. Those kinds of things are amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us, Restless Kind. Like, I'm super duper happy and proud of you. Like, you have no idea. Good morning, Karen. Sorry, y'all. It's the rainy time of season, so I have tons of allergies. Okay, Katie. Non-skill victory. Came home from her birthday and did not eat anything bad. Amazing. Was feeling a little tired, made a steak, then cleaned the whole main floor of the house before winding down for bed. Amazing. That, I will be honest, birthday stuff I would still struggle with to this day. So congratulations. And, I was thinking about like Thanksgiving. I was like, am I going to let myself have sweet potatoes? Because like that's the one thing that I want. And I realized I have the rest of my life to have sweet potatoes. And I'm trying to achieve a goal of getting healthy enough to have a baby by next year. Or, well, start the process of it by next year. And it's like, it's not worth it. The 2 seconds of eating it or whatever, 2 minutes, it's not worth it. So amazing job. You can definitely get a flare up, some short while transition on carnivore. It's really, yeah. And as I said, sometimes you'll be bopping along and 5 months in, because I experienced this a couple times, feeling really bad and can't quite figure out why. And it's just the toxins being dumped out of the fat cells. Hi, Mary. Restarting today. Sick of all the aches and pains, not moving well. How long did it take before you started to be able to move easier? Just a slight improvement the first 2 weeks. And then here's the thing, and I wish I had done a better job videoing this in the beginning. It was very hard mentally and physically in the first few weeks, like the first 6 weeks for me, because I went from, and I'm not kidding you guys when I mean I could barely walk a few houses before I had to sit down. Like I had to sit down or I was just, my legs were going to give up. I took my booty out there every day and I walked and sweated and gritted through the low back pain as much as I could every single day. It was not easy. It didn't go from, oh, hey, I lost all this weight and I can walk 5 miles. It was, I had to push myself slowly along the way. Can we know the weight and height of your adorable nephew? He was 8 pounds, 6 ounces when he was born, and he was 20 inches long. He goes back to the pediatrician in a week, I think, because they do like a 2-week checkup. He's so darn cute. Desmo, are you losing weight? Well, I mean, I've lost weight, and we'll see next week when I do another weigh-in how much weight I've lost or not. Hi, Dee. Tia, I'm restarting today. Yesterday, went to grandson's birthday. The cake was so good, not gonna lie. So was a piece of pizza. Cake, I could walk past pizza. Cake, my bane. But you know what? Keep getting back on, no matter how many times you fall off. Tanya, why do we do this to ourselves? We know the consequences. Because it's old habits. It is purely old habits. I spent 20 years of my life eating food to satiate sadness, depression, anxiety, and it doesn't just go away overnight. It's like taking a spoon and just slowly every day just scraping like the same spot in cement. You wouldn't think that it would do any damage over time, but after 20 years of taking that spoon and digging in the cement, it's going to leave a track. And that's what it does to our brain. We have these mechanics and mechanisms in our brain that say, if this happens, do this, you'll feel this. And we've done it so many times, it ingrains those habits so deeply. And this is why it's not just one and done. Like having a great epiphany and I never go back to struggling. No, our brain is so used to reaching for those mechanisms to make us feel better. We have to replace it with another habit, which means we have to keep reinforcing those habits. And that's why people fall off and get back on. I mean, amazing job to those who can just cold turkey and never do it again. But I'm a realist, and this is how life is for me, is I have to keep working on replacing those habits because I spent 20 years doing them. And that's why we do it to ourselves. we know the consequences, but what's like old habits die hard, whatever that saying is. Hi, Lynn. Prep is key for me. Lots of hard-boiled eggs, cooked bacon, and other easy to go on the go easy as well. I don't worry about the on to go stuff because I have learned just don't eat while I'm out. But true, in the mornings, Scott asking, what are we going to have for dinner, and us planning it out sets my entire day up for food. Like tonight, we're going to do chuck roast. I'm going to do it in the crock pot when I get home because it needs to cook for like 8 or 10 hours. I already know what dinner is going to be. Breakfast is always bacon and eggs. Boom, all my food choices are done for the day. Set yourself up for success if you're struggling. Whoops. Noting triggers are so very important. I actually had someone, and I can't go back and figure, or I can't change it, but I actually had someone message me yesterday and said they were watching my videos, and it probably was my original, like, how to do carnivore, and I had put, like, they're called B-rolls. It's just like little blips of video or screens, and it was someone eating a donut, and she messaged me, and she wasn't mad, but she's just like, I wish people wouldn't put these in here because it triggers me when I'm trying to do a diet and learn about it to not want to eat. I don't do those anymore. If you'll notice in any of my videos, I don't add sugary stuff in pictures because I did find for myself it is triggering. So finding your triggers are important. Are there any negatives to doing carnivore with leaner meats? I consume skinless chicken breast, pork loin, tilapia. I do have ground beef pork. Ribeyes are too pricey. So I wouldn't say the issue with doing leaner meats on carnivore is they are not as satiating. You'll end up eating more protein. And the whole thing with carnivore is a high fat, moderate protein, low to no carb diet. A lot of people oh, your kidneys are going to fall out. No, carnivore is high fat, moderate protein. The issue with leaner meats is you're now doing a high protein, moderate fat, or low, just depending on what you're eating, low to no carbs. It puts you in a place of, it's called protein sparing modified fasting, where you're just eating a butt ton of protein, but you're not getting any fats really, or any carbs or sugars or anything like that to go with it. You'll be hungry, cranky. Your body's going to turn the extra protein more likely into glucose, which is going to keep you out of ketosis potentially. And you might be hungrier more. Now, some people thrive on this kind of eating. And the thing is the fats are what we really want to be consuming a lot of compared to protein. I do like 60-40, 60% fat, 40% protein, or I'll do 50-50. A ribeye is 50%, 50-50, give or take, per ribeye. Anyways, so you just kind of got to decide. If you're hungry, eat more fat. Now, if you're eating leaner meats, you can supplement them, butter, tallow, make your own tallow, super cheap, those kinds of things. You can add fats to leaner meats if you're doing it for financial reasons. Oh, I do have to bring this up, y'all, too. We went to Costco yesterday. Ribeyes in our area, $16.99 a pound. Holy cannolis. 2 years ago, $12.99 a pound. Look for them deals. Scott and I got a month ago, we got some ribeye, bone-in ribeyes for $6 a pound at the grocery store on sale. And they're the same quality. They're like USDA choice. I put my scale away. Now I can't remember where I put it. I do stuff like that all the time. I started October 25th. It took my body a good 2 months to realize, oh, wait, I see what we're doing. Oh, it took your body 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, see, you just have to play with it. If you find yourself hungry with leaner meats, add fat. Okay. I would suggest 2. If you have a lot of weight to lose, aiming for the higher fats is going to be more beneficial. Specifically, if you're a female, we need fats for hormones. Thanks, Katie. Congrats on the nephew. Thank you. Babies are the best. They are. You're such an inspiration. I've been pretending to be carnivore, but behind closed doors eating ice cream and then shaming myself. There is a dude on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now. And his big thing is he shames people all the time. Men, I've talked to my brother-in-law about this. Men are very different. Sometimes like the goading and stuff works for them. For females, and obviously there's going to be outliers for this, but for the majority of us, shame just drives us eating more. You know, I am super proud of you to admit that out loud, because let me tell you, the light sanitizes the dark things in our souls. Like it does. Getting it out, expressing it so you don't feel like you're hiding it and shameful. This will help you. Just literally by admitting that to us will help you, Andrea. Like I'm super proud that you did, because it's easier, or it seems easier, to just hide it where nobody can see it. Okay. So start today. Go chuck that ice cream. Get rid of it. Nobody else needs it anyways. If I cheat, I have diarrhea the next morning. I call it the sugar SHITS. Because that's what happens when you have sugar and stuff. It just rushes to your intestines, and then it's I'm worried about my husband's health, but he doesn't listen whatever I say. Any advice? Are you doing carnivore? I'm not even going to pretend I know how to read your username. I'm sorry. I'm terrible. Anyways, I would love to know if you yourself are doing carnivore. All right. Hi, Sheila. It's Sunday, early evening here. I'm on day 15. No weight loss yet, but other benefits, not sleeping that good. Am having electrolytes. Sheila, the first thing I always suggest is the first 4 to 6 weeks is focusing on learning what your true hunger is. Okay. Like our bodies know what they need, and it's going to change day to day. And I always tell people, if you are stuck with weight loss, it is always goes back to listening to what you need. If you do a lot of activity one day and not a lot the next, you will need more food the day you're doing a lot of activity and less the next day. So our eating amounts will fluctuate. Just pay attention to that. The not sleeping so good, oxalate withdrawals, toxins. I take still to this day, because it actually helps me sleep. I take melatonin at night. It's called, I get it from Costco. It's a bottle. It's like Sleepy Time or something. It helps so much. I meant to say I'm going on a cruise for Christmas. Boy, Scott and I have talked about this. We did the cruise, the low carb cruise. I will not be doing any cruises anytime soon. They are very difficult because my trigger is seeing stuff, and it just is what it is. It's right in front of your face. And I have to be honest and realistic with myself. I'm not that person that can just, in the grocery store, I can walk past it, no problem. But being constantly bombarded, and that's why having it in our house is not an option. Because I can walk past candy, cake, sugar, all of that in the grocery store. I went into the cake shop the other day and got some for my sister. I see it once, I can say no and go away. But constantly being bombarded, having to say no over and over and over, that's where I fail every time. I'm having a hard time with consistency. I've never been able to stick to anything too long. Tia, write down what is triggering you to eat off. Is it emotions? Is it seeing the food? Is it stress? You got to figure out what's triggering you. And you also have to uncover why you're eating what you're eating. Okay. For me, I ate sugar and carbs and stuff for soothing the anxiety and stress and sadness I had. I would get literally an instant dopamine hit the minute that sugar hits me, the minute it did. Okay. So you have to figure that out first, or you're just going to be banging your head against the wall constantly. Hi, Twin Maples. Hi, Hosier. Oop. Hi, Kate. I'm on day 3. My feces is all liquid. Is that normal? Yes. You will have lots and lots of loose stool. I had it for almost 5 weeks. It's your body. What's happening is all of the bacteria and stuff in your intestines, they thrive on sugar and carbs. When you switch to carnivore, all of that bacteria, your gut lining, or not gut lining, but the probiotics, Lord have mercy, my brain is not functioning very well today. Anyways, all the bacteria, the good bacteria that lines your intestines, they die off and your body rinses them out. Okay. And then it populates with fat and protein loving bacteria, but it does take a hot minute for your body to get rid of all of that, for everything to die off. Gina, I tried losing weight for almost 25 years. The only time I was successful was when I added therapy and acupuncture. Gina, I'm curious if you've tried carnivore, if you're doing it right now. Hello. Oh, is that coffee? Oh, we even get the polka dot mug. Thank you, love. Okay. I learned I need to barbecue steak and slice it up so it's ready to go in the fridge. If I have to cook every day, I struggle and crave more junk. Prepare. Figure out what works for you. Set yourself up for success. I cannot emphasize how important it is. If you're one of these people, like Restless Kind is, that doesn't like cooking every day, or they know if they have to cook every day, it's just going to set them off, prepare ahead of time. We know ourselves. Sometimes we don't want to admit it, but admitting these hard truths to ourselves, we can set ourselves up for success. I myself do not like old meat. I never have my entire life. So we cook every day, but that works for us, okay? My mom loves cold old steak. Like the next day, she loves it. I can't stand it, but that works for her and she can eat it for breakfast, okay? So set yourself up for success. Alex, electrolytes, can you provide recommendations for electrolyte supplements? The ones at the store seem to have artificial sweeteners. I use LMNT I think they call it raw, electrolytes. It has nothing in it. Most of them do. Like a lot of, if it's flavored, it's going to have stevia or something in it. I use the raw. That's what Amanda does most of the time. Every once in a while, I'll do a flavored one, but that's like twice a week maybe that I do it. So yeah. Oh yeah. Pursuit of Bliss. I have my code for LMNT. I think it's just Carnivorous Me. You can find it, I think, on my last video underneath the thing. You're losing inflammation, you probably up your salt. Yes. Also, with that, your magnesium, if you're having a lot of diarrhea, I found upping my magnesium, and that was part of using the LMNT Electrolytes, helped with that too. Will help with the diarrhea as well. But you're going to have it. It's natural to get your body sloughing off your internal intestinal lining and replacing it. Candace, I love walking now, and since moving to Battleground, we've been exploring all the beautiful parks and walking paths. Where's Battleground? Because that sounds super cool. But I'm thinking like, D&D fighting. But that is amazing. Go explore your area, y'all. It's like there are always beautiful natural hidden treasures around, even things you don't know about, no matter what. A friend of mine keeps cutting the phrase, "Are you willing to give up what you want for what you need?" from wall sticker material for me. Oh, I hope you don't mind. I want to make a shirt like that. Like, I absolutely, will you send me a picture when they do that? Because I would love to see what that looks like. You can just email it to me once you get that done. Catherine, I'm a recovering sugar addict. I gave up 9 years ago this month. Congrats, Catherine. That is amazing. Tia, do you eat at the same time every day? My body usually gets hungry around 11, but I try to be done with dinner by 6. I have to eat a good dinner so I won't think of food for the rest of the night. I do. Scott and I eat around 10 o'clock every morning because we both work from home. So we eat at 10 a.m. every morning and around 5 to 6 for dinner. I have found as well, if I eat dinner earlier, like before bedtime, I'm just like, I'm hungry. Like my stomach is actually gurgling like food, give me food. And I sometimes have a very hard time going to sleep. My stomach is just like kind of tying in knots. So I find eating no earlier than 5 is the key for us. Okay. Fat is good. Fat is energy. We've been trained so long to think fat is gross and unhealthy. Yes. Is this polka dots or cow dots? My brain's wondering. Hello, new to this. Welcome, welcome. Not sure how to figure out how much protein, how much fat. I do. This is Amanda's lazy way because I am not a macro counter. The second I start counting macros, unless I'm stalled, like I'll do it for a week max, maybe 2, but not like day to day. It makes me obsess about my weight loss, triggers my stress hormones, my cortisol, and then I end up losing less or no weight. Like that's the trickle down for me of tracking macros. So a ribeye is 50% fat, 50% protein. That is what I aim for, 50-50 or 60-40, which would be 60% fat, 40% protein. I don't weigh. You could weigh your stuff if you wanted to in the beginning to get the ratios proper. My biggest suggestion, listen, or how do I say this? I shouldn't say listen, because I think most of us are in the same boat that I was in, of not actually understanding what true hunger signals feel like. We always had to eat what was on our plate. And then, of course, the emotional eating for me. Focus in the beginning now of when you eat, after each bite, let it sit for a second and be like, do I need another bite? Not do I want, do I need another bite? If the brain, it'll be quick. The brain will say, yeah, I need another bite, eat more. Okay. If it's, I want another bite, that's different, because usually that's coming from here and not the actual stomach. Ask yourself, do I need another bite? Every time. Okay. And eventually you'll get this feeling of, I know when I'm done eating because I'm no longer hungry, but I'm not full. It's like right in the center for me. I'm not hungry anymore, but I'm not full. Okay. Because I know Dr. Berry says frequently eat until you're comfortably stuffed. That is too much for me. I do not need that much food. We got the Bank of Amanda still with lots of deposits. Get a rib roast and cut it yourself. The rib roast is usually cheaper. Most of the time it is. However, I think Scott and I caused this. Our Costco up here charges the same amount for an uncut rib roast as they do just ribeyes. It's so annoying. It usually used to be $1 or $2 cheaper. Hi, Melly. Hattie, I keep losing to sugar. What should I do? Chuck it. Get it out of the house, Hattie. Throw it away. If you live with other people, congregate, aggregate all of that sugar in one cabinet you do not have to go into. That way you do not have to see it. But if you can, my strongest suggestion, get rid of it. Get rid of the white sugar, the brown sugar. Get rid of all of the sugar out of your house, okay? Because it makes you have to take more steps to go and get sugar when it's not just like in easy reach of the house. That is vital, vital, vital. Lynn, I know all the holiday food talk seems to get me thinking about food rather than just eating for nutrient density. I'm at age 69. I figure I have tasted pretty much everything. You know, that's actually a good thing. I've eaten enough pumpkin pie to last me a lifetime. I know I have, because it's not just one piece. Well, it never used to be just one piece. It's a good way to think about it. And the thing is if I go 3 years and don't have it, it doesn't mean I can never have it again. I just don't need it now. You know, if I want to have a bite or two of sweet potato. Gina, it was all hormonal, I think. I managed to get to my goal weight and have been maintaining for a year. That's awesome. Congratulations. Gina, I think you asked about your husband. I don't know. I didn't think I saw if you said you're doing carnivore, ketovore, what you're doing. But for your hubby, be the shining example. If we verbally browbeat people into it, it's just going to make them dig their heels in more. And how many times in life have we been told to do something, even though it's good for us, we don't want to do it because someone else is making us do it. Sorry, I'm trying to get through the chat. All right, I'm ketovore. He doesn't believe that meat-only diet is healthy. So maybe you start with ketovore with him, okay? A lot of people who do ketovore and then carnivore. Like they kind of transition versus doing that, rip the Band-Aid off, do ketovore with him. Make him some broccoli, make him some asparagus with meat. Make meat the main portion and then the veggie as the side, and do that. Because let me tell you, if you can just do that, and heck, if they're even more stubborn, maybe a piece of fruit here and there, and then slowly back the fruit off and then get to the meat and veggies, that's a win. So versus just demanding that they jump on and convince them that carnivore is amazing, despite it being amazing, some people need the time to mentally adjust. If someone had told me 2 years ago I would be doing carnivore, a meat-only diet, I would have been like, you crazy. You real crazy. But transition into it. I think that would be the best thing you can do for them, is Let go of just carnivore, aim for ketovore, and then let time as he starts to feel better. And if you're the cook, slowly over a few months, you can back off a little less and a little less, and then be like, oh, I forgot to get some vegetables. We're just going to have meat. Like, give him time. Give him time to think about it. Tia, a lot of stress this past year. Tell me about it, sister. And the thing is stress is never going to stop coming. And it's just learning to deal with it better and better and better. And the thing is, and I think this is, I'm going to make myself cry. The thing is discovering, I hate using the word triggers, but triggering a trap, discovering the pitfalls we can fall into. And what will be my pitfall may not be yours or the next person's, but understanding it for ourselves, super important, okay? And also, the big thing is if we know certain stressors happen, finding realistic things to deal with the stress. And they can be tiny things. Like someone told me one time, why don't you just go for a jog? Well, I hate jogging. Yeah, that release energy, but that doesn't work for me. So it's trial and error. So every time you fail or stumble with it, just think of it. It's like one more thing that doesn't work. So, hey, you don't have to worry about that. You can try something else new next time. While I don't mind leftovers, I cook every day. Every day. I'm wondering if it's your family, you have to cook every day, or just make more. Cook less. Melly, carnivore 7 months, 27 days, lost 36 kilograms. Amazing. Cannot stop craving sugar and eating McDonald's with bread. Very depressed and feeling useless. Thank heavens for communities like this. Thank you. Melly, I'm wondering right now if you're eating sugar in McDonald's, like right now. Share that with us. Alex, dealing with family and friends when I was eating unhealthy, people were silent. Now that I'm carnivore, everybody wants to get their 2 cents. I'm sticking to my gun. What was your experience? I stopped telling people. I just told them I was doing a keto diet or I was doing a high-fat, moderate protein. That's what I told my doctor the very first time I ever saw him was I was doing a high-fat, moderate protein. Because then they're just like, oh, okay, well, maybe high-fat isn't the healthiest. But the minute you say meat, they're like, right? So that's what I do. And I try not to talk about it with others who I know just don't want to hear it. I just let it be. Because as I said, it's like trying to push a round peg through a square hole. And the more you push, the less they want to hear and the more annoyed they get. I have the hiccups now. The baby's giving them to me. I pressure can meat. Can I use that as my fast food or will a canned process kill? Nah, do it. If you're canning meat, do it. That would be super good fast, especially if you're traveling or things like that where you're canning and it doesn't have to be refrigerated. I give you 2 thumbs, but my other thumb's in the coffee cup. That's a super good idea. Battleground is Southwest Washington next to Vancouver. Candace, never eat soggy waffles. Listen to me. 34 years old, time to do that. Vancouver. I was thinking Vancouver, Canada. You mean Vancouver, Oregon. Got it. Or is it Washington? Anyways, Candace, it would be a bit of a drive, but you should come to one of our meetups next time. It'd be a little bit of a drive. Maybe the one we do in Seattle. It'd be less of a drive for you. What was the change you noticed after introducing iodine to your coffee? I felt like I had a little bit more energy. This coffee, because we're at my sister's, doesn't have iodine in it, but I do 1 to 2 drops every single day at the coffee for home. Speaking which, I need to order some more because I'm out. Because I do the Lugol's 2% iodine. Scott does too. We do not eat a lot of seafood. I like crab and shrimp. No, crab and lobster. Shrimp, ugh. And trust me, I've tried it every way you could ever imagine. And fish is all right with me. So that's why I do it. Because iodine is not only used to help regulate your metabolism, but it is also used by every single cell in our bodies. Polka dots. You're right, Rose. They're too symmetrical to be cow spots. That's a good point. Hi, Betsy. I'm going to get all this stuff for book club set up. Y'all, we are doing book club I got to open the calendar. Is this terrible? The 16th. So I guess technically that's the third week in November. On the 16th, we're doing book club for Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, Fogg, I think. And you can join free. If you don't want to buy the book, go to the library, y'all. Discord, to get to Discord, it is free. You just have to go to the Carnivore Me website, and there's like a little icon you click that'll invite you to the server. If you don't have a Discord login, you need to make one. And we'll meet on the 16th in there in the voice chat room at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific. I'll have more of it up on the website because normally I update it there. Hello, I have a family in Battleground. It's beautiful there. Oh boy, now I feel like I want to go visit there. Hi, Rita. I've been doing a lot of thinking this weekend and have finally figured out I self-sabotage on so many things in life. I'm going to try to use this info to figure it out and how to stop. Rita, 3 books. Oh, okay. First, Atomic Habits. Read that if you haven't. Second, 12 Rules for Life. Good Lord, 12 Rules for Life. The Atomic Habits will teach you the habits that you need to do to stop the self-sabotage. 12 Rules will help you figure out why and what self-sabotage you're doing. And the last one is Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, which gives you very practical, like Atomic Habits I really love because it gets the mind wrapped around it. But Tiny Habits does a little bit less of that, but it gives you more of like, here's actual things you can implement to do, okay? Versus Atomic Habits. I still think Atomic Habits is the first book to read, followed by 12 Rules, and then Tiny Habits. Start there. Like, I think a lot of them they all have audiobooks too. I had a thought about that. It fleeted away. If I catch it again, I'll say it, but I always forget. Catherine, I always say I already met my sugar quota. That's pretty good. I've met my life sugar quota for sure. Cat Lady, do you only do carnivore foods in your house? Just like no flour, sugar? Just curious how far I need to go to cleaning out my pantry. We got rid of it all. We have no flour. The only baking stuff I have is baking soda and powder. And that's partially for cleaning stuff. And vanilla extract, but it's because I put some in my coffee. I have no other baking stuff. We got rid of, and I mean everything, because I had almond flour, I had rice flour. We got rid of it all of it. I donated so much stuff. We had tons of cans of like tomatoes and stuff downstairs in the basement. We donated it to the food bank. We just got rid of it all. If you go and do this and you jump on board, Cat Lady, get it. If you can get it all out of your house, get rid of that white sugar. Don't worry about that one random person that might want sugar in their coffee. Tell them to bring their own. Because that's what I'm going to now. Like when my brother or my sister and brother-in-law come in, I'll go to the grocery store and buy some like asparagus for them. But that's as far as I'm going to go for people. I'm not bringing sugar in my house. I threw away packages of cooking last week. 1 cookie is not enough and 2 cookies are too much. Any cookies is so... Carnivore is dangerous. I dropped a frozen tri-tip on my big toe this morning trying to organize the freezer. Now my toe is black and blue with a cut. Ouch. I'm so sorry. Ice that toe. Elevate that toe. Ow. That sounds so painful. Carnivore can be very dangerous. I tell you what. I'm with Melly. Get rid of everything. Get it gone. Hi, Jess. Here we go. Restless Kind. Completely got rid of everything. Donated it. Sister-in-law. Yeah, we did the food bank. I did the food bank because I figured if people are genuinely starving, anything's going to be better than nothing. I'm cooking for myself. Me, myself, and I, and my family. It's cute. It must be the bread, as I feel I cannot seem to stop. I won't give up trying. Melly, did you mentioned the McDonald's, right? Yeah, McDonald's and bread. Once you start ingesting carbs, bro, I just completely lost. There we go. Once you stop ingesting carbs and then you start ingesting them, your body will start to prefer glucose, carbs, sugar. It all breaks down to glucose for quick, fast energy. Super quick, fast energy. Okay. So once you start feeding it that, it's going to send signals that it wants more. And that's where the cravings keep happening until you get about like 1 to 2 weeks out. Then you'll notice a major drop in cravings because your body's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to get this anymore. I'm going to have to burn fat for energy. Now, I still intermittently experience cravings. Why? Because stress triggers it, and that's a habit thing. It is very different than the physiological demand, my body demanding carbs and sugars. Chuck it, get rid of it. If you have to go out somewhere, do not take your credit cards. Don't take money. I had Scott hide $20 in our car in case we ran out of gas. I do not have to take my card with me. Scott's my purse. Well, he's my wallet is better. I never take my wallet with me when I'm with him because I have to ask him to buy something. And I don't want to do that because I don't want to put him in that position to make him have to say no to me. Plus, it's like, I think that's unfair for me. So I don't take my wallet when we go places when it's me and him. Or if I'm going somewhere, I always eat before I leave. I learned that the hard way. So McDonald's and stuff. If you're going somewhere and you don't need money, leave it at home. Take your license, leave everything else at home, okay? Or you're going to go to the grocery store, figure out what your groceries are, and only take enough money to pay for your groceries, okay? So, there's ways to get around this. There really is. Hi, Mama Cat. Happy belated birthday. What was yesterday? Yesterday was the 21st. Happy October 21st birthday. Haven't eaten anything over here, planning for my restart so I can solidly back on the wagon. Beautiful. Life happens. It's all right. Just hop back on. It's amazing how silent people get when I say eat whole foods. That's actually a good way. Meat isn't entirely whole food. Angela, my dentist asked about cholesterol. I told him I did not get to a 4.9 A1C with the standard American diet. Here's the thing. I forgot the statistics, but it's like majority of cholesterol in our body is self-produced. It is not, I think it's like 20, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it's like 20% dietary of our cholesterol. So what's going to be a bigger difference? The amount of cholesterol our body makes or what we eat, if it's an 80-20, right? So every time people are like, oh, it's going to kill you. It's like, calm down. 80% of the cholesterol in my body is more genetic based. Some people, there's a pattern, I think it's called A and B, what my cardiologist said. And some people have a higher expression of the B pattern, which I believe, what is his name? My brain. Homestead Howe. I keep wanting to say Kelly. Whatever. Anyways, he has, I'm pretty sure, because him and I talked about it, the expression of B, because his cholesterol, his LDL is like 400 or 500, okay? My cholesterol actually went down 2 points doing carnivore. Scott's went down 20 points doing carnivore. It is more about a genetic expression of genes with cholesterol versus what we consume, okay? And that's why I roll my eyes when people are like, you're going to die of cholesterol issues. What is a carnivore hack tip you wish you knew when you first going carnivore? My favorite that I wish I'd known, the salt rocks. For cravings, Redmond's, or I think on Amazon you can get like the Himalayan salt rocks, not the salt lamps. I don't know anything about those, and I don't know if you should be licking them where they've been put through industrial stuff to put lights in them. Anyways, Redmond sells salt crystals. I call them salt rocks. Using those anytime I think I'm hungry, sucking on it a few times, having a little bit of water, it always cuts through. Is it a craving or am I actually hungry? Because if it's a craving, the craving goes away within 30 seconds of doing it because the saltiness. I wish I had done that or had known about that first. People kept recommending it to me, and it wasn't until like 8 months ago that I tried it, and I wish I had done it sooner. Them salt rocks are amazing. It's like $15 for a bag that'll last you years, like a few years. Oh, here, if you need to go McDonald's, order some, quarter pounder patties. I don't have that much self-control, so I just avoid it like the plague. Hi, Andrew. Can you eat steamed vegetables on keto? You absolutely can. Keto tends to be 20 carbs or less a day. Okay. I strongly suggest if you're doing keto, do like a clean keto. There are lots of recipes to replicate pizza and lasagna and this and this. Personally, for me, I found every time I tried to replicate it, it never tasted as good. And I ended up just wanting the actual pizza. So, like meat, fruits, low carb veggies, I'm sorry, meats, veggies, low carb veggies, and low carb fruits like berries is like for keto. Okay. So, do it. Rita, having Atomic Habits just placed the other two on hold at the library. I'm reading John Deloney's new book now. What is that one, Rita? Because I have no idea. What about appliances? Have you decluttered any appliances? Scott and I, a couple weeks ago, I got so sick of so many spatulas and mixy stuff. We got rid of, I'd say 60% of our like cooking utensil things. We got it down to one utensil thing. We got rid of extra pans and pots and baking things because I have 2 baking sheets, but it's not for baking cookies anymore. It's for baking bacon and things like that that we want to cook in the oven. And I'm strongly thinking about getting rid of my Instapot. Like it's a ninja version of Instapot. The only time I use it anymore, ever, is when my sister's dog comes over and I have to make rice for her dinner. It's just sitting on the counter wasting space. Like it's crazy. The blender we didn't get rid of, and that's because super treat track for the dogs is there. We have these like freeze-dried liver treats that Scott turns into powder and he puts over the dog food, and I call it dog crack because they just love it. And that's what we use our blender for now. Other than that, I don't have an air fryer. We got a grill. I don't like a lot of stuff on the thing. And we do have a microwave, which I'd like to get rid of, but Scott only uses it to warm up his coffee in the morning. I don't use the microwave ever. No money, no Mickey D's. Yeah. Think about Atomic Habits talks about this. Tiny Habits talks about it too. What barriers can you put into place? If you have a habit and you want to quit it, what are the small changes you can make that will either prevent it or make you have to slow down? Like if I want dark chocolate, I have to bicycle to the grocery store for it. Okay. That's my thing. And it's only a mile, but I'm lazy. The craving for the dark chocolate is not enough to waste, 30 minutes of my time to go get a dark chocolate bar. Like it's just not. So what are the small things that you can put in place to help with it? Oops. Grace, I'm a driver's ed instructor. I'm worried about the flu or diarrhea while I'm in the car, so I haven't started yet. Please help. What can I do to minimize these problems? Grace, if you want to minimize these problems, taper in slowly. If you go black and white from like carbs and sugar one day to carnivore the next, there is taking electrolytes and extra magnesium can help, but there's no way to avoid it. Transition to keto, clean keto, meats, low carb vegetables, low carb fruits, then to keto, which would be meat, low carb vegetables, and then eventually into keto or carnivore, which is just meat. That will help immensely. You still might have a little GI upset if you're eating a ton of sugar now, but it will help so much. Okay. Still, go through your cabinets and get rid of all the sugars. Get rid of them. Okay. That'll help with the keto flu. I call it the carb withdrawal because that's what it is. It's carb withdrawal flu, and it'll help with the diarrhea. Use some kind of electrolytes. I use LMNT. I use the raw. Like if you're a sugar addict, use the raw, not the flavored. You could try the flavored, but sometimes people find that the stevia just keeps the sugar taste in their mouth and they want to eat more sugar. I prefer the raw, but that's me. I try to eliminate as much sweetness out of my life as humanly possible. Okay. So do that and you will find you're doing great. I would probably do 2 weeks of keto, 2 weeks of ketovore, then try a couple days of carnivore. If your guts are still like, give it another 2 weeks of ketovore. And then by that time, you should be easy peasy 6 to 8 weeks getting to carnivore. I finally did get rid of appliances and pans. What kind of appliances did you get rid of, Cheryl? I'm curious. Sugar for me is like the little shop of horrors. Once I start, the sugar starts selling at me, feed me. The funny thing about this is if you're a sugar addict, like some people don't understand, but once I eat sugar, it's like my brain gets stuck on sugar. And then literally all I hear is sugar, 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 eat that sugar, eat that sugar. You know, you want to eat that sugar. And I can't get any logical thoughts past it. All right. Anyone who loves bread, wheat, grain products should read about Wheat Belly by Dr. Davis. Not carnivore, but he explains the gut damage caused by lectins. Not only that, leaky gut, big thing with grains, leaky gut. And it's an autoimmune response. They don't really talk about it too much, except when you have like IBS or I forgot what the other harder version of it is. But what happens is it causes inflammation in the gut. And then pretty much the weave, the best way I can explain it is the weave between the cells lets some of it leak out of the intestines, and you don't want that. And what it causes is an autoimmune response around it, which causes a lot of issues. Okay. It's like not good. Hi, Anna. Totally enjoying your renewed supply of PNV. I have no idea what PNV is. You gotta tell me. Look forward to observing your journey to increase family dimensions. Me too. Me too. Me too. Although after my sister, so I just want to talk about this real quick because I know a handful of people have asked. So my sister went into labor not this Saturday, but the Saturday before, whatever. It's like almost 2 weeks ago. And her water broke when we were here 8:30 on Saturday. They went to the emergency, or they went to the hospital. I came back to watch their dogs. Scott dropped me off after I got clothes and stuff. And then she was in labor for 51 hours and she wasn't able to dilate enough. She has some, sorry guys, but she has some scar tissue on her cervix from having like an ablation from cancer, like a little bit of like pre-cancer removal. And it just wasn't progressing. So then they decided a C-section for her. And it was like, shoot, it was rough. Like 51 hours of labor to then end up just having to do a C-section. And then after that, when I went and saw her and the baby at the hospital, turns out they had to poke her twice for the epidural. The first time, she said when he poked her, she lost control of her leg temporarily. Like it kind of like a reflex happened and she wasn't able to stop it. So he went through like the dural layers, I think, and hit a nerve in the spine. So then he had to do it a second time. Well, the second time, the placement only got her, I believe it was her left half of her body numbed. So then when they started doing the C-section, she actually was feeling them cut across her stomach, and they had to do propofol. So they had to put her under because she just couldn't take the pain because the epidural was only doing half of her body. It was really rough. This makes me nervous about pregnancy. And she did not have a great pregnancy either. Although the baby, y'all, he's so cute. Oh my God, he's so cute. He's such a good boy. Oh my goodness. Oh, thank you guys, Carrie. I don't know why I kept wanting to say Kelly. My brain. Yeah, salt crystals. That's what they call them on the Redmond's website. I have pattern A cholesterol. Of the 100 different types of LDL, there is no bad cholesterol. Which it is true to a certain degree. There isn't, because even what they consider bad cholesterol, if we didn't have it, we'd die. So, you know, it is what it is. And like my cholesterol last time I checked, I was like 130, something like that. I don't know. Scott's was 123 or something. It's just going to be expressed differently for each person. Oh, it's almost 10. Okay, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. Betsy, Instapot for bone broth use. We just use we have a huge stock pot because we make a lot. When we make bone broth, we pile that sucker full. And I just use a stock pot and we boil it for like 12 hours. I don't know. It's a tiny little, it's a standard size one, but it feels too small because it does like the air frying and stuff, but you can fit like 8 wings in there. And I usually eat 12 wings, so it's not even enough. I use my blender for butter coffee. You're right. I have used it for the butter coffee, Lynn. Dr. Sivest does not carry credit cards or cash either. I mean, there's just, if you can't buy it, you can't buy it. Are you going to go beg someone to give you some sugar? I mean, probably not. I don't think I've ever fallen that low. And I've hit some pretty low lows, like digging a cookie out of the cookie container out of the garbage. That. So now that's another actually hint. If you have a hard time getting rid of stuff, take that cookie, crumble it up, throw it in trash. Because once it's touched the inside of the trash, I'm done with it. Or if that's not even enough, dish soap. I think Betsy and some other people reminded me dish soap worked great. Dark chocolate's deceptive because it's more bitter and they add way more dark chocolate than milk. I was looking at the back a few months ago of the dark chocolate versus milk chocolate. It's got almost the same exact amount of sugar. It really does. It is, unless you can get like super low sugar ones, you know. Okay, Lisa, almost done. Do you do intermittent fasting? If so, how many hours do you fast? I mean, I naturally do it because I only eat twice a day now. So from, let's say we eat dinner at 5, I don't eat until 10 o'clock the next morning. And then we eat at 10 and then I don't eat till 5. So my 2 windows are those. Is it a bad idea to drink electrolytes if you're still eating carbs? I'm thinking the salt plus carbs keep you retaining water, but I'm not sure. Yeah, so that can be quite harsh. Carbs hold, it's like like 3 molecules of water. I don't remember the exact, but it's quite a few. Each carb holds like 3 molecules of water. Okay. Salt likes to follow water. So if you're eating carbs, you're going to have water, you're going to retain salt. No carbs, your body doesn't retain the water, your body lets go of the salt. So if you're eating carbs, electrolyte, and you're not sweating a lot, you can really retain a lot of water with electrolytes. Okay. I'm looking. Let's see. I have many food allergies, eggs, dairy, gluten. Also have MCAS. What do you recommend for me to eat? I can't have anything aged because of histamine. You can avoid. Have you tried duck eggs? I've heard that people who have problems with chicken eggs do fine with duck eggs. Also, try eating. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but if you eat the yolk but not the white can be reactive of the egg, not the yolk. Have you tried these kinds of things to do it? You don't have to have dairy on carnivore. You can make ghee, buy ghee, which has the milk solid pulled out. Your best bet would be befriend a butcher and or a cattle farm nearby and get your meat as fresh as humanly possible. In the store, it's going to be hit and miss with beef. With the histamine reactions, sometimes it's been sitting there for a while. Chicken, pork, those kinds of things you can do. MCAS, is that mast cell activation? Okay, that's what I thought it was. So try those things, okay? Avoid as much aged stuff as you can. Befriend a butcher. That is my strongest recommendation because you want to get it as fresh as possible. And other thing, don't eat leftovers. That's part of the reason I don't like leftovers is the aged meat does have a bit more histamine in it. Okay. Butter coffee. Okay, Grace, butter coffee, tell me more. If you don't want to do, I think this is heavy cream in here. I drink most of it. You can add butter. I do like a half a tablespoon to a tablespoon per cup of coffee. Do not try to manually mix it. It does not emulsify it. And then you get like this weird fat layer on the top and then black coffee below. Gross. Use a blender or a frother. The blender, I will say, emulsifies it better. Like our blender has like the little cup. So I'll pour the coffee in, put the butter in, blend it. Almost as good as heavy cream. Mast cell activation syndrome. MAST, yeah. There is idiopathic mast cell activation syndrome. Pretty much your mast cells are think about anaphylactic shock, hives and things like that when you eat something, you have a severe reaction. It's the mast cells that get activated. And a lot of time with MCAS, it can be idiopathic, meaning they don't know exactly what's triggering it. It's pretty tough trying to figure out what works. Okay, y'all, It's 10:04. I'm gonna go see the baby. I only gotta hold him for like 3 seconds to burp him a little bit. I wanna go see the baby. I appreciate you guys so much. Have a good weekend. I'm working on getting back to being active in videos this week. And yeah, I'm trying to do better. Doing better back home, eating well. Do something new this week. I'm starting my rollerblading again this week. Uh, Lisa, how about coffee with coconut oil and cinnamon? I put cinnamon. I do not do coconut oil just because it's coconut and I tend to have a little inflammatory response to it. If you're doing carnivore, try to avoid it. If not, it's not a bad option. Like if you're doing keto, do it. Anyways, y'all, have a good week and go walk. Even if it's 5 minutes, go walk. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.